let's just finish talking about the last photo, and then we
Yeah,
could go,
yeah, yeah,
and then you can just add it. All right.
yeah,
All right. Cool. So let's do that. So I'm just gonna do the whole thing over again.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. All right. So I'm gonna think backwards. All right. So like I said, got a call to do a photo shoot. It was supposed to be Bobby Shmurda doing some kind of viral video or shooting a video with his fans. That he was going to like announce on his Instagram. No, I think it was at Twitter at that time. Like on his Twitter, he was going to announce that he um he was doing a video. So he's supposed to be shooting a video. It made it seem like he was shooting a video at NBC Studios. When I got to NBC Studios in New York City, nobody knew what I was talking about. Everybody was like, "Yeah, we don't know anything about that going on." But he was there. He was there rehearsing for the Late Show, which is a big deal for a rapper to get on a Late Show. But you know, he had that mega hit. Um, so he was able to get on the Late Show, a huge crossover hit. So at that point, I almost gave up because I'm like, nobody knows what I'm talking about. I look crazy out here walking around asking people, you know, if they know what this Bobby Shmurda event is, and nobody knows what I'm talking about. I might as well have been talking about, you know, I just look crazy. So I'm about to leave. I go outside and I see this young lady sitting there, like on the wall in the back. She's like, you know, she's waiting for Bobby Shmurda. She was from Rolling Stone magazine. She's supposed to be doing a cover story on him. And, you know, she's like, yo, I've been waiting here mad long. They said he's up in rehearsals, but I just been waiting to see, you know, if his people come down and he comes out. And, you know, I just been here for hours just waiting on this dude. So we're sitting there and, you know, I'm about to leave and dude just walks out, you know? So I'm like, hey, you know, I'm here from Vibe magazine. So, you know, of course the girl from Rolling Stone kind of like rolls up on him and his people. It's like, yeah, you know, I'm supposed to be doing this interview. It's supposed to be set up and everything else. Like she's pissed at this point. And I'm like, hey, here from Vibe magazine, you know, can I take a couple of pictures of you? So he's like halfway talking to her, kind of doing the interview, but he seems more interested in his fans on the street and doing the photo shoot with me. So what was supposed to be like, because I'm like, I don't think this event is going to happen. So I'm just going to try to get some pictures of him and keep it moving. So he's there, he's dancing around and like, you know, like he's a character, right? Like you got a song, he's a character. So he's there, he's dancing around, he's you know, kind of pandering to the people that are in the street. And but at the same time, he's taking direction from me. And I remember I like to take this picture, I like lied on the ground and I asked him if he could point at the sign. And he did it, which I was shocked because I don't know if you ever work with celebrities, they don't like taking direction. And he was at the height of his celebritydom and it was new. So I didn't know what type of response I was going to get, but took a risk and asked him to point at the sign and he did it and I snapped it. And, you know, it just captured the moment of, and it's sad that he went to jail shortly after this, but this just kept like, dude was like super happy. Like you could tell, man, he had like, you could see the watch on his wrist. Like he got the big watch. He has like, he's living the hip hop dream at this point. And, you know, he's going to be performing on the Late Show at NBC Studio, you know, tonight, you know, just came out of rehearsal. And, you know, so he's on cloud nine. I felt bad for the reporter from Rolling Stone because she, she, like really didn't get an interview. Like after, I felt bad because after he stopped taking pictures with me, he kind of wanted to roll out. So he just kind of like wrapped up the interview and like kind of started walking towards his vehicle. And I was just like, man, but you know, and it's a series of pictures that came out pretty dope, but this one stood out to me because, you know, it was kind of the telling sign of, you know, how you're gonna do. If you ever watched the movie Fresh, like
Yeah.
the dad always talk about, you know, all these guys are good at chess, but if you put them on the clock, you know, how would they respond?
Yeah.
And that's how I felt with this. It's like, you know, you think you're a good photographer, but how are you going to perform under the pressure of, yo, you literally have this moment of this dude walking out and walking to his car, basically, you know, and are you going to get the shot that you need within you know, I don't know, maybe we were out there for maybe 2 minutes at the most, you know, I mean, it's just him walking. The door is right there behind where the lights are. So he's like actually walking towards his car and we're like walking with him. And he just happened to pause and started talking because he saw some fans and they wanted to take pictures and stuff. And he was, you know, he was still cool like that to take pictures with them. And, you know, so for me, it was just a sign of, you know, all the, about to get my Iverson on. We talk about practice, you know, all the practice, you know, I always tell people like practice and practice some more because, you know, when you're under pressure and you're under the, you know, under the scrutiny and all the emotions and the heat and everything else that's going on, like, you know, how are you going to perform, you know? So this showed me that I could hold my own and that, you know, you got to be the camera whisperer, right? You gotta be, you gotta be able to, you have to know how to talk to people to get them to do what you want to do. Like I wasn't bossing him around. Like I was asking him to do stuff and I was just working and I was working at, you know, as fast as I could, you know? So, and the funny thing is like, I met him previous to this at, the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival, but he was not known yet really. You know, he kind of blew up kind of fast and he was an act that, Raekwon gave some of his time to. So, hey, what up, Vertical? Raekwon gave some of his time to, so he came out and he didn't even have enough time to like even get into his song. Like they came out and I think he let his man do a verse and then I didn't even know that he was like the main act, you know, but I was with my nephews and they stopped him afterwards and they have pictures with them. And it's like right after that, he blew up like mega, like, you know, crossover hit. So, you know, it's one of those things where you have to be there, but you have to be ready, right? It's like there was no production, there's no assistance, there's no lighting, it's just like know your gear and know how to work with people, know your angles and make it happen. So having to get a little dirty on New York Street, like you've been in New York City, like you don't want to touch the ground, but you know, for the shot, I'm going, you know, I'm like lying down and I'm just like, you know, cause there's no like, oh, hold on, let me change the lens so I can get this shot. Nah, it's none of that, bro. It's like, you know, yeah, it's like, yo, just, you know, get the shot. So, yeah, so I was able to do that. And, you know, so I chose this shot because it just showed me that, you know, to a certain extent, I was ready for certain things, you know, not that I ever feel like you're completely ready, but, you know, you put in the work, right? And then you get tested. And when you pass, you're like, oh, okay. So that showed me that I should just stay sharp, you know, always be practicing, never think you're too good or you're good enough. Like, just always be ready to go.
Just from being from like an athletic standpoint, being an athlete and being a coach, I always used to tell my wrestlers, yo, the harder you practice, the easier the match. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you
You
think
might
about
practice
it,
for hours, and the match is only 6 minutes. You know what I mean? But you don't put 10, 12 hours of practice just for that 6 minutes. So the harder you practice, the easier the match.
yeah, and if you think about it, I mean, you look at basketball, the best players practice the most. You know, Jordan and Kobe and those guys who are legends, like they're always talking about how much these guys worked out, how much they practiced, how much they did this. So it just goes to show you, like, even the people at the top are still working hard to get better.
Yeah.
So, you know, I take that, you know, and I'm like, you know, I'm always going to keep practicing, always trying to learn, and even the stuff that I know, it's just about staying sharp. So, yeah, man. So
Well,
that's
listen,
the last.
I
Yep.
think that it would go this long, but um,
Yeah.
like it's over 30 years of friendship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you, it was quite inspiring. It was quite telling. It was quite riveting. It was entertaining, and I'm looking forward to the next time. You know, we actually gonna have a little bit of a script leading up to the 3 picks, and we're gonna kind of
Right.
stick to the picks, but we're gonna try anyway. But
Yeah, we'll try. We'll try.
it was
We'll do our best, man.
it was more than my pleasure. I think that
Yes, sir.
this one actually touched some people's lives. I actually got some texts and phone calls already asking me about, you know, how can they set up photo shoots with you? How can, they want the quote that I gave when you were speaking about risk, and it was more than just you talking about your craft. It was more about you inspiring a generation, and I'm looking forward to it. I want to thank you for giving me your time, and we'll talk sooner than later, on and off
Yes,
the line.
sir.
You know what I mean? So
Yes,
thank you,
sir.
appreciate you, and the same way you came, I brought you in. I'm gonna take you out. So, I know you want this.
every, every good hero need his theme music, yeah.
Listen, man. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Camera action, baby. Lights, camera action. Yeah.
Word up. But
Yo,
all
man,
right,
I love you,
bro.
bro. We're gonna talk sooner or
Good.
later.
Yes, sir. Later.